Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new What If format on my channel. And today I bring you what if issei went to a magic academy. Now, I was rewatching High School DxD and I just realized something. Where do they actually learn that magic from? I mean, like, obviously they gotta learn it from somewhere. So I did some research and I found out there was no magic academy in the underworld or even heaven or anywhere else, but I did find one place was called the Dawn Academy. And this was actually the academy where Lufea went to. If you guys don't know who Lufea is, Lufea is actually Pendragon's little sister. And she's quite of a talented mage, of course, and pretty much actually she went to that actually same school. Now, as I'm actually thinking about this, I actually just wondered, what if Issei went there, of course, to that school? This would change the whole DxD world as we know it, of course, and it would change Issei too. And instead of actually in the normal anime of Issei getting power up from Pies, of course, Issei would actually have more better understanding with magic and knows how it works way earlier, of course, in this. Now, I don't want to waste any of you guys' time. Let's just start this what if. Now, pretty much, you guys must be wondering how would this what if actually work out? How would Issei even enter actually the Magic Academy, of course? Well, pretty much, I see actually a few ways of Issei getting himself into a Magic Academy. This is where he was actually young, after when Irina actually left to go to England. Now, Issei would be actually in the library, of course, and he actually, let's just say he finds himself a book. And there, Issei would actually just read a book and it actually tells him about magic. There, Issei would actually be interested in this book, of course, and pretty much day by day, Issei would try to learn magic. The parents would actually think like, yeah, pretty much actually that book is fake, it doesn't actually teach him about real magic, but Issei knows it's not fake because actually, once Issei tried to use fire magic attack, it actually did he did use fire, like fire that came out of his hands, of course, and it just actually burned a bush on fire. And this would truly surprise Issei, and with this he will actually kind of just show his parents, but before anything can even happen, he will run into someone. Like somebody tall wearing actually kind of like a black cloak, of course, and Issei will look up and he will see like it was a woman with actually black hair, red eyes, and pretty much actually she was a mage. The mage would actually tell Issei that he should not actually be using magic in actually like human eyes. Issei would actually wonder how did she know that he was using magic, and with this she will actually kind of kneel down to Issei's height and telling actually Issei that she's a mage, of course, and she actually went to actually the Golden Dawn Academy. Now, pretty much Issei was actually kind of a little bit confused. The Golden Dawn Academy, what is she talking about? So she will explain everything to Issei, a little bit of it, of the supernatural world, of course, that he can't use magic in public, magic is supposed to be secret, no other human is supposed to find out unless they're made, of course. But since Issei found out about magic, yeah, at least she had to let actually him know, probably his parents too. Issei is just hearing all this, he doesn't know if he should trust the woman or not, but at the same time, she did make a good point. If Issei just went around the whole town just using magic, of course, people might even start calling him a freak, or who knows, he probably might even get kidnapped, or some people might even use him for actually his power. Now with this, he will actually trust the woman, and he will actually ask the woman her name. She will explain that her name is actually Yuki, of course, and she was actually the most powerful mage in the whole world. And from then on, she actually offered to actually train Issei of using magic, of course. She couldn't actually stay in Kuyo Academy for a long time training Issei, no, because she is a powerful mage, she is constantly on the move, of course. So it's pretty much, for the next actually few months, Issei would actually learn magic, of course, and actually, he was actually kind of, not, okay, in the normal anime, guys, like, Issei was terrible at using magic because, he never had a magic affinity before, but now, Issei is learning magic, his magic is growing and growing, not at an alarming rate, but still at a steady okay rate, of course. Now after about a month would actually pass, Issei would actually tell his parents, of course, what he's been doing. And pretty much he introduced Yuki to his parents. Now pretty much as actually their parents is listening to Issei and Yuki about this, about the whole supernatural world, about Issei learning about magic, they were truly shocked about this. And Yuki even told them that pretty much it would be actually a great idea to send Issei to a magic academy, the Golden Dawn Academy, which had other mages there and kids Issei's age which he can easily respond to and even connect to, of course. Now of course the parents would be thinking about this, and like this was all truly a shock. They're now knowing about the supernatural world and their son knowing magic. It was just crazy. So after a long actually thought, or this will actually take about 2 weeks for them to even decide. No, you know what, probably even a month for them to even decide, as they will actually kind of accept this side of Issei and even let him go to this Golden Dawn Academy, of course. Now Yuki would actually explain how actually it was actually over a boarding school, that pretty much actually Issei has to stay there, but he can't come over for the break. Now their parents, like Issei's parents, will actually be happy with this, of course, and with this they will start packing Issei's bag, and there they will send Issei off to the Golden Dawn Academy. Of course Yuki will do it because they don't have, well, Issei's parents don't even have magic for them to get to the Golden Dawn Academy. So after actually Yuki made a call, of course, saying to the principal that they will actually have a new student, of course, they will actually teleport to the Golden Dawn Academy, and it was actually pretty much crazy because Issei never actually used a magic circle or transportation circle before. So seeing one now really actually did put a shock in him. Now they will obviously make it to actually the school, and there Issei will see the Golden Dawn Academy, of course, and it was huge. The school was big, of course, like really big. And pretty much Yuki would say to Issei that this school is actually known for the best magicians, of course. That Issei will be studying not just actually fire magic, but different types of magic, of course. Even some forbidden magic that even some have rare access to. Now, the principal will actually come outside, and there actually he will actually take Issei in, and there he will actually get Issei's uniform ready, and there Issei will be starting actually his first day in the Golden Dawn Academy. Now, after the principal escorted Issei to actually his classroom room, actually A1, he will introduce Issei to actually the class, and Issei will see a bunch of people there as they were wearing like kind of like really fashionable clothing, of course, like really magic clothing. Some of them were actually royal clothing, and these people look really posh, and Issei felt so out of place. And there actually, the teacher will introduce Issei to the class, and Issei will also get the seat behind actually like the window behind the class. Oh my god, Issei is the main character. But anyway, I'm going off topic. But of course, so yeah, as Issei sitting down, loads of people, well, some people will be staring at him, of course, as pretty much actually they would just sense Issei's magic, and it was kind of low, but still, heck, it was actually kind of alright. So after when actually class was over, of course, Issei learning a little bit more about magic, or not really that crazy amount of magic, but knowing how magic actually functions, of course. So pretty much loads of people will crowd around Issei, saying like where was he, what was that family like, what type of magic do their family actually own, of course, all these kind of things that pretty much of a noble mage or high ranking mage would actually say. Issei would actually say that pretty much he just only started magic, that he pretty much just found out about this whole magic thing, and even the whole supernatural world. This would truly surprise them, and heck, they even asked about what about his family. Issei says that his family is just normal human beings, and this would actually truly put a disgust in the other students. Like, this guy's legit like what, a commoner, like a poor guy, like he dared to enter actually the greatest magic school of all time. So after actually Issei just said that, everybody just walked away. Even some people even started laughing at him, saying that he was a nobody, that he should pretty much just leave the school already. Issei would not listen to them, and he would actually just say that he would prove them wrong. He become the greatest mage of all time. He would even become more powerful than the mage, even Yuki herself, of course. This would even make them even more laugh, even more, and saying that he will never even rank rise to Yuki's actually level of actually magic, of course. He won't even probably be actually strong enough to even be on a level of a low class mage. So for the next actually few months in there, of course, in the Magic Academy, Issei's life was actually kind of hell, of course. I mean, loads of people made fun of him. Like, yeah, the teachers was actually really nice, and yeah, they were strict on Issei, but they didn't actually do the same things that the student actually did to Issei. Like, Issei was actually poor, like, Issei actually, like, what? Was actually pranked so many times. So many people actually challenged Issei to a battle, of course, and Issei always lost, of course, but each time Issei is learning actually how they fight, how magic really works, and how they even operate different types of magic, of course. And secretly, every time at lunch, Issei will go to the library and he will study magic there. So in this mindset of actually event, Issei is actually pretty much becoming smarter. He's not becoming much of a pervert. Like, don't get me wrong, Issei is still a pervert, of course, but he's not really focusing on women now. He's focusing more on magic and how he can become a better mage, of course. So Issei's mindset is different. So you get me? So yeah, just keep this in mind. So after actually about a few months, of course, will actually pass, Issei's magic will actually truly increase, and they even found out actually Issei's magical actually attributes, of course. Issei's first attribute, sorry, is actually fire. The second one is actually like what? Darkness. The third one is actually kind of like healing, of course. And actually like what? Other one is actually quite actually of a dark shadow magic, of course. I think I actually already said that. Fire, like what? Shadow and healing magic. So yeah, those are actually the 3 or even 4 attributes I even named out. Yeah, that Issei actually does actually have, of course. But as more as Issei is studying in that academy, the more actually time Issei is growing, of course. Issei is learning a lot. He's learning a lot about the supernatural world, of course, because that's what they teach them. He's learning about actually the 3 great factions and even what they actually they done in the Great actually Holy War. So pretty much Issei is actually kind of getting more intelligent. But besides that, Issei noticed one person, which was the far better person in the whole school, which was actually Lufeya. Lufeya was actually part of the Pendragon actually household, and they were known to actually be the most skillful, the most talented mage, and even sword users of all time, of course. And they were the descendant of actually King Arthur. So pretty much I think Lufeya was actually of a big hit. But Issei never even got the chance to even talk to her. Like, he spotted a glance at her and she was actually really cute, but Issei knows that he's not even going to get a chance, that he should just probably focus on actually just his magic, of course. So one day when actually Issei was in the library, after actually studying late, of course, while pretty much everybody went to their dorms, Issei would just be in the library just chilling, of course, and he would actually kind of actually hear some noises, of course, in the library. Issei thought that it was only himself, but as Issei turned around the corner to look who it is, it was actually Lufeya, and she was trying to reach for a book. Issei would go ahead and help her reaching the book since he was taller than her. Well, and by the way, Issei is actually kind of like, what, 13 years old, if you guys are wondering, so yeah. As pretty much, he would reach the book, give it to Lufeya, and actually say that pretty much is this the book you're looking for? Now Lufeya would actually kind of smile and thank Issei for this, and pretty much she would actually kind of like bow down to him. And this truly surprised Issei. Nobody had ever done that. Issei said like, why did she even do that? He's not royalty, of course. But Lufeya just said like, it's actually part of her actually like family to respect others. It doesn't matter if they actually come from a poor, rich family, it's to show a sign of respect. Issei was smart, of course, and he would bid Lufeya farewell that he's still studying, of course. Lufeya will offer to actually join Issei of actually learning magic, of course, in his study section, and Issei would actually agree. A little bit worried, but yeah, he actually did accept. And from then on, Issei and Lufeya actually grew together. They actually majorly had a good bond. The two of them would learn magic, and Issei realized Lufeya was really talented, probably even more talented than even him. As she was actually specialized in dark, light, and even like what? Holy magic and other types of magic, even Norse magic and even fairy magic, of course. That's how talented she really was. Issei's actually magic did increase, and to a higher level than he even expected, of course. With Lufeya's help in teaching Issei how actually to use magic properly, Issei actually grew, and not just that, Issei's magic didn't just increase, he actually unlocked his sacred gear quite early in this one, guys. As with a whole lot of magic in Issei, this actually allowed him to awaken dread. And this would actually surprise loads of the teachers, of course, there, knowing that Issei was this current Red Dragon actually emperor. They decided to keep it a secret. Probably actually train Issei privately for him to use, of course, so pretty much actually nobody can mess with him. And it didn't stop there. Issei's swordsmanship was actually insane, as he pretty much was really talented in swords, and pretty much while they were actually training in the actually for PE, one kid would be picking on Issei, and he would challenge him to a sword duel. And there the battle will begin, and pretty much Issei would actually blitz him using mana aura, of course, challenge himself with actually his mana, pretty much getting the upper hand on him, knocking him out with one attack, with just one wind flash actually magic. Now pretty much everybody would be surprised at Issei's magic. Like, it wasn't like they thought that Issei was just a weak thing who would never rise to the rank, but Issei's magic was far ahead of them in even high level mages, of course. And this is not Issei even using his full actually magical power. So more time would actually pass, and actually Issei would realize Lufei had been a little bit down. Yeah, sure, actually she was actually always cheery, but Issei noticed that she was a little bit down. And for one day, like, she just disappeared. She just stopped coming to like the Golden Dawn Academy. And loads of people was actually shocked about this. Like, she just often just left without even saying goodbye. And loads of people was actually thinking that Issei did something to her, but that was not the case. They found out that pretty much actually she left for actually good reasons, of course, and heck, loads of people just left it at that. This truly actually traumatized, well, not really traumatized, but it did break Issei a little, because actually he did started to like Lufei, of course. But of course there was nothing that he could do about it. So Issei would spend the rest of his years, of course, the next 2 years, actually just actually learning or finishing actually his academy year. So after 2 years would pass, Issei would actually graduate actually from the Golden Dawn Academy, and pretty much he would be actually be held as actually the top student in all the academies, because actually how well he actually excelled in his studies, and even his magic, his swordsmanship was actually completely on a whole different level. So yeah, Issei was actually held as actually the best student in the whole academy. Issei was happy, but at the same time sad, because he wanted Lufei to be up there with him. She should have been there with him, beside him, or even beyond even him. So with this, Issei would actually return to his hometown, and yeah, he would actually just live a little bit of a comfortable life, of course. Sure, Issei was now 15, and he wasn't actually gonna leave actually his life like that. He actually decided to travel around a little bit, of course, learning more about magic, and learning more about how he can increase his sacred gear, and even actually achieving even balance breaker. Yeah, Issei actually achieved Scalemate, of course, guys, but he's having trouble actually awakening his balance breaker. So for the next 2 years, that's what Issei did. He traveled around the world, learning different types of awesome magic, and even learning different types of fighting styles that he can actually use, of course, and even learning how to achieve balance breaker, and even probably increase his balance breaker form, of course, with actually some magic, or probably how to increase actually his level of actually powers of him being in the balance breaker, of course. So that's what Issei did, and also he did try to look for Lufei, and he did go to Lufei's house, because Issei did have access to that, because actually because Issei was friendly with Lufei, he's obviously been to the house, so pretty much Issei actually is on good terms with actually their parents, and they actually see how Issei does care about Lufei. And pretty much actually Issei found out that she actually left to join the Chaos Brigade, of course. And with this truly surprised Issei, as he does know about the Chaos Brigade, that they're an organization, of course, that actually leads or does nasty things, and they just actually are a bad group. They're a terrorist group that actually terrorize different factions, of course. So this was actually truly a shocker, that knowing that Lufei was actually in that organization. But we will not focus on that right now. Right now we'll go on to the present, to where Issei would actually be enrolled into Purdue Academy. There, Issei would actually plan on living his normal life there, until he can actually get himself into college, of course, or probably actually find something better to do with his life. For right now, this is just actually just like of a resting thing that issei actually does, of course, from the stress from the supernatural world, of course. So yeah. But as issei entered the academy, of course, he realized actually some demonic magic, of course, that was in the air, that was surrounding this whole school. Issei would actually look up, of course, and he would actually see of a red-haired girl, of course. Beside her was of a black-haired girl with actually purple eyes, and Issei noticed who they were. And this was Riz Grimmy and Akano Hajime, as pretty much actually they were actually like what known in the underworld as actually like what the Crimson Hair of Destruction Princess or whatever. I can't remember her nickname, and actually the Priestess of Thunder. And they were actually known as in the school as the Great Ladies, of course. Issei will put his head down, continuing to walk to his class, of course, but before he can even enter his class, he will actually go to the bathroom. And there Issei will summon actually 10 shadow dogs, and he will actually ask to keep an eye on actually like what the Grimmery, of course, and also the Sea Tree. That pretty much he knows that pretty much they are looking at him. So as actually the dogs went into the shadows, of course, to gather some information, Issei would live out his actually few months of his quiet life in this school peacefully. They didn't do anything, of course, to Issei, but they were planning on reincarnating Issei, of course, as they were actually planning on actually like letting Issei go on a date with a fallen angel, of course, and the fallen angel letting Issei die, of course, so one of them can reincarnate him into a devil. So as Issei is knowing this information, of course, he's just pretty much already aware of this. He's already aware of the fallen angels, and he's even dealt with them, of course, before they can even become a nuisance, of course. Because actually Issei is a guy who actually protects his hometown. He doesn't actually let anyone enter his hometown and cause trouble or even start killing innocent people. That's not how Issei is, and that's not how Drake actually taught Issei to be. As a dragon, you need to be honorable and even risk your life to protect the weak, of course. That's Issei's mindset, of course. His actually mindset is to protect actually people who are in need. So Issei will already just kill the fallen angels, of course, even freed before actually any of the big events can even happen. And heck, he would even actually meet Arthur Argento, and even actually Issei would take Arthur into actually his arms, of course, into his actually house. And there pretty much Arthur would start living with Issei, of course, not going to school, but actually living as Issei's like what housemaid and something like that. She offered to become Issei's actually maid for her to actually just as a thank you for Issei saving her, of course. So with this actually all said and done, the whole actually arena event doesn't really happen, of course. But as Issei's in class, he will actually get actually like what? A call from actually like the principal telling Issei that he has to go to the course research club, of course. Like the student council, Riz Grimmy, would like to speak to him. So as Issei will walk up and leave in classroom to go to the ORC, he will actually just knock on the door, and there they will actually enter. They will allow Issei to enter, of course. As Issei would actually take a seat in front of actually Riz, of course, he will notice that Riz, it wasn't just Riz, like Sona was also there too. Issei actually thought they actually thought about his plans, about actually the Shadow Wolf and all this thing, but no, it was completely different. They told Issei how they know who he really is, that he's pretty much aware of the supernatural world. Issei would actually smirk and he would say like, yes, he knows who they are, of course, Riz Grimmery, L of the Grimmery clan, and also Sea Tree, Sona Sea Tree, L of the Sea Tree clan, of course. He knows who they are. He just kept his distance between them so they don't have any problems. And pretty much actually, they actually get to talking, and Issei gets to realize that they are pretty much all good people, but of course, they did offers for Issei to join their parade. Issei will refuse, saying that pretty much he doesn't want to be anyone's actually like servant, of course. That he's pretty much of a mage, that he's training to learn more magic and to become even more powerful. Issei does not reveal that he is this year's current Red Dragon Emperor because Issei can't trust them with that kind of information just yet. He needs to know their true intention, of course. Yeah, sure, they wanted him to join their parade, but he wants to know what truly motivates them, like what made them actually see Issei that kind of way, of course. So pretty much issei will continue to talk, and pretty much actually they will pretty much end the conversation and saying that pretty much issei is not really of a threat, but still they will be keeping his eye on him just in case anything actually does happen. Issei said that would be good, but make sure they don't pry on his personal life. But guys, I think I might be ending the what if after here. This is part 1 of what if issei went to a magic academy. I know it was actually kind of a little bit short, guys. Like, this is not really the end of the what if, this is just the start of it. Because like issei will be actually learning more magic, and he'll be actually going on more journeys, of course. And since he has access to different types of magic, issei is going to become a huge powerhouse, like crazy strong. So yeah. So this is actually like part 1 of what if issei went to Magic Academy. If you guys like this, let's get the video up to about, like, you know what, 50 likes, guys. Let's get the video up to 50 likes, and I'll do a part 2 of this what if, guys. And I'll be making another part really soon of a new what if, guys. New what if will be coming out, of course. I already finished actually like my Chaos issei actually what if, my Ananda issei what if, of course. And pretty much actually I'm making out of a new what if, guys, for you guys to actually enjoy. So without further ado, my name is Ultra Anime. Hope you guys are having a blessed day. I'm out.